Hi, this is Larry King. New York's the greatest place in the world. It's where I'm from. I'm still a Brooklyn Dodger fan, even though I have to watch their games out in L.A. But it's also an expensive place to live. Home prices are high, and it only takes one life-changing moment, loss of a job, unexpected divorce, health crisis, to fall behind on the payments. The results can be catastrophic. The most common homeowner distress is foreclosure, but there are other kinds. Maybe you inherited a property you can't afford or want to sell, or you're carrying one that costs more than it's worth. The problem is that people wait too long to ask for their help and miss the opportunity to negotiate better terms, reduce their debt, get their lives back on track. If any of this resembles your situation, I want you to reach out to RebuildNY.com, a no-cost, A-plus rated program that pairs you with your own homeowner advocate who will meet with you to go over your situation in detail. What stage are you in? Pre-foreclosure, or have judicial proceedings begun? Do you want to keep your house or sell it? Have you explored every legal avenue? Is there money available to you? What happens next? RebuildNY.com has the answers. Did I mention there's no charge for all of this? It's free. There's also no pressure and no strings, just reliable information and results. They have saved New Yorkers over $500 million in debt so far, and today we're going to find out more. Now, via video link, I am pleased to welcome RebuildNY.com's Director of Homeowner Advocacy, Stephen Cavalcanti, along with foreclosure law expert, attorney Richard St. Paul. Gentlemen, welcome. Let's start with the basics. Folks experiencing any type of homeowner distress are reeling. They're scared, don't know where to turn. Now you offer them a homeowner advocate. What is that?
You know what? That's a good question. If you've never heard of a homeowner advocate, you're not alone. For homeowners facing foreclosure, having a homeowner advocate on their team can mean a life-changing difference. Whether or not you want to keep your property or sell it, or you're just unsure, their role is to gain a complete understanding of your specific situation and your desired outcome. The homeowner advocate gets you access to critical resources, assistance, and also monetary options unknown to most homeowners and specific to you. Based on reliable information that you can trust, your advocate's going to work with you to create and coordinate a plan of action that's going to meet your needs. Best-selling author Bob Proctor says, "Tell me where you want to go, and I'll show you how to get there." That's precisely the role of an experienced homeowner advocate.
You mentioned that the first step is a homeowner advocacy meeting. What can a person expect? How much does it cost?
Well, for starters, before we get there, it costs nothing. The entire program is privately funded and offered at zero cost with zero obligation to homeowners. If you say, well, this was helpful, but it's just not for me, then you're done. There's no strings. As to what the actual advocacy meeting is, it's conducted between you and your homeowner advocate. The goal of the meeting is to establish your desired outcome, or your wish list, what we like to call, and to determine what can actually be done to help you. For example, keep your property, sell it, or maybe you just need some time and you're unsure. At the meeting, your homeowner advocate is going to get right to work at getting you access to critical resources, assistance, and monetary options that are specific to you. Together with your advocate, you'll be able to coordinate and create a plan of action that is going to meet your specific needs. Meetings can be conducted at our location or in-home if you prefer.
Now, in these situations, most people are going to say, I've already hired an attorney. They tell me they've got this well in hand. I don't need a homeowner advocate. How do you respond to that?
That's a good question. Hiring a competent and reliable attorney is critical to understanding and protecting your legal rights and options. We coordinate with attorneys on a regular basis to help homeowners achieve the best possible outcome. But adding a homeowner advocate to your team gets you access to critical resources, assistance, and monetary options that have absolutely nothing to do with the legal process being handled by your attorney.
Many people listening are saying, look, I already applied for a loan modification. Why should I meet with you?
You know what? Applying for a loan modification and understanding what you're getting yourself into are two completely different things. A loan modification is often the only path to keeping your home. However, there are strings attached. And when you modify your loan, most homeowners are just unaware of those strings and how they tie them up. Numbers are important, how much you owe, what your payment's going to be, and how long you're going to be paying are all critical elements to sustainability and peace of mind. The process can be tricky as lenders tend to request a ton of documents, which can create delays.
But while you're doing a loan modification, the foreclosure process stops. Is that right?
You know what? No, that's a common mistake that most people make. In most instances, the mortgage holder continues the foreclosure action, which is specifically why you need to have a homeowner advocacy meeting. You have to be in the know and up to date on where you are in both the modification process and the foreclosure process. The processes are independent of each other, and therefore they both have to be monitored. Too many homeowners we see are losing their properties while they're waiting for a loan modification to come through.
In most cases, the foreclosure really begins when people get a notice in the mail saying an LP has been filed against the property. What's an LP and what triggers it?
Larry, an LP is short for lis pendens. Like most legal terms, is Latin, and this means pending lawsuit. A lis pendens filed by the bank after you default on your mortgage payment for 3 consecutive months is a formal notice that begins the foreclosure process. If you receive notice that a lis pendens has been filed against your property, it is time to take immediate action to avoid foreclosure. In New York, a lis pendens is recorded in the county clerk's office and must be served to the homeowner within 30 days after it's recorded. Your home is considered to be in pre-foreclosure from the day the lis pendens is filed up until the day the home is sold at auction.
Do you still own your house at this point?
Yes, Larry, you do. At this point in the foreclosure process, you still have possession of your house and you have the right to sell or seek other means to either bring your loan current or pay off the lender entirely. It is crucial to act fast while you still have some good options open to you.
New York State has something special they do, a mediation program called a foreclosure settlement conference. Can you tell us what that is?
Larry, you're right about this, and it has not always been like this. Let me tell you a little bit about the program. The state of New York set up a mediation program called the Foreclosure Settlement Conference in response to the foreclosure crisis. We all remember that. What happens at the settlement conference is that the homeowner at risk of foreclosure has an opportunity to meet with the lender's attorney under court supervision. The goal of the settlement conference is to reach an agreement with the lender in most instances to modify the mortgage and allow you to avoid foreclosure. Foreclosure proceedings are halted temporarily, that's the key, temporarily, while the foreclosure settlement conference is taking place.
So you get a notice saying you have to go attend this. Do you still need the homeowner advocate?
Yes, you should have a homeowner advocate that you have spoken to before you go into the conference, or an attorney. Both are actually more beneficial to you. You can probably even ask the homeowner advocate if they can suggest an attorney. So let me tell you how the process works. The bank attorney you meet at the settlement conference has the authority to act. So before you attend, it really does make sense to speak to a homeowner advocate to be sure all of your options before you go in. If you reach a settlement with the bank in the meeting, the case is over. That could be good, but if you make an uninformed choice, it could be very bad.
When you're in pre-foreclosure, the bank can file something called an order of reference. What is that?
Larry, hold on to your horses here. We're getting a little technical. The order of reference, also known as the OOR or OREF, is a formal request to the court to appoint a referee to determine the amount due on the mortgage property. That's the property that the person owns. The referee adds up the total amount the lender is owed, including the principal, interest, late fees, and foreclosure fees. So you can imagine that's a lot more than what you saw when you first had your mortgage. When a referee reports his or her findings to the judge, the bank can then ask the court to enter a judgment of foreclosure and sale that allows your home to be sold at auction to complete the foreclosure process. And remember, we spoke, the foreclosure process ends at the sale of your house. So you own your home up until the time it is auctioned off. So this is a step the lender usually takes just before asking for a judgment of foreclosure. Keep in mind, however, that your home is not yet in foreclosure and you may still have options to avoid foreclosure. So it's best to speak to a homeowner advocate about the order of reference.
One of the worst days of your life. You get something in the mail that says a judgment of foreclosure and sale has been filed. What does that mean?
A judgment of foreclosure and sale comes near the end of the foreclosure process, when the lender, considered the plaintiff in a foreclosure case, files a motion for a judgment of foreclosure and sale. They are asking the court for an order to allow your home to be sold at auction. A judge can make a decision at any time, but in New York, typically a decision is reached within 6 months of filing the judgment of foreclosure.
Do courts typically favor the lender or the homeowner in foreclosure cases?
Larry, in the great majority of these motions, the decision is usually in favor of the lender. If the lender wins, this clears the way for an auction to be held. Generally, a lender will advertise the foreclosure auction date of your property in various local publications and conduct the sale at the courthouse within 45 days.
It strikes me that you don't want to get to this stage.
You absolutely do not, which is why you really need to get a homeowner advocate involved in your case as early as possible. Once you're at foreclosure, your window is closing. The best time to advocate for yourself and get the best possible term is before you get to this stage.
Once a judgment of foreclosure and sale have been granted, it's game over, right? You are out of options.
Not entirely. A judgment of foreclosure and sale means that the court has decided in favor of the bank. Your home is about to be foreclosed and sold at the courthouse. In New York, that means the lender will advertise the foreclosure auction date of your property in various local publications and conduct the auction sale within 45 days.
And I'll take it from here. If you find yourself at this stage of the process, don't wait. Call a RebuildNY.com homeowner advocate and schedule an emergency advocacy meeting immediately to review your options.
My property has been scheduled for sale at a public auction. Now what?
You know what, Larry? That's a great question, and it's one we get often. Once an auction date has been scheduled for your property, I know it could be scary, but you still have options to avoid foreclosure. Timing's critical, and every minute matters. It's imperative that you take immediate action here. This is where trust, experience, and resources are really most critical. A RebuildNY.com homeowner advocate can schedule an emergency homeowner advocacy meeting with you to review your options.
What if they've run the ads and there is a public auction date already scheduled?
Same thing. You still have options to avoid foreclosure, but every minute matters, and it is imperative to take immediate action.
And you know what, Rich? Let me jump in here. It's right here where trust, experience, and resources are really most critical. A RebuildNY.com homeowner advocate can schedule an emergency meeting to review all of your options.
Now, here's something people get confused on all the time. Your mortgage servicer is not necessarily your mortgage lender. So explain to people what a mortgage servicer is and why they are important.
Right. It's easy to confuse your mortgage servicer with the actual mortgage lender. The lender makes the loan, but the mortgage servicer is the company that handles your mortgage loan account on a day-to-day basis. This means collecting payments and providing various services to you on behalf of the owner of the loan. The servicer also provides services for the loan owner. And in some cases, believe it or not, the servicer may actually own the loan.
So why is the servicer so important?
Here's why. For homeowners who are behind on their payments, the servicer is absolutely crucial. Some servicers offer foreclosure alternatives such as a loan modification, short sale, or deed in lieu, and some offer a variation of options or nothing at all. Each servicer operates differently, and to further complicate things, loan owners are known to transfer servicing from one servicer to another with minimum notice. This is also an important time to contact your homeowner advocate who deals with a number of different services. So they have really good experience with this part of the process.
So you really need to know who your mortgage servicer is?
Absolutely crucial that you know who they are and whether they can offer you any relief. Some servicers make it very difficult or near impossible to reach an acceptable foreclosure alternative, and some are very organized and helpful. I think Stephen can add more about how a homeowner advocate can help in this process.
You know, your homeowner advocate deals with servicers all the time on a regular basis, and they can help you get the outcome you're looking for. We've saved New York homeowners more than $500 million in the past.
So we're talking about the New York market, and New Yorkers are savvy. What's in it for RebuildNY.com?
You know what, Larry, that's a great question, and it's one we get asked on a regular basis. The program's fully funded via the company's community reinvestment commitment. Services, assistance, resources, they're all paid for by the company and provided free of cost with no obligation. Approximately 1 out of every 3 distressed homeowners in New York decide to sell their property, and the company commits a portion of its earnings related to those particular properties to fund the program.
This all sounds a little too good to be true. How much do you have to pay to get into the homeowner assistance program?
You pay nothing. And you know what? I'm going to repeat that. You pay absolutely nothing. RebuildNY.com offers its privately funded homeowner assistance program at no cost to qualified homeowners who participate. Since 2014, the organization has saved homeowners in the New York metropolitan area and Long Island over $500 million in debt. And what I'm very proud of, has earned an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. The organization has received over 350 local reviews with 0 complaints.
I know something that confuses homeowners. In many cases, they have filed for bankruptcy, received a discharge, but they're told they still own the property. How is that possible?
Well, let me clarify that. In most instances, this is because there was no equity in the property. Or to put it more succinctly, you owed more in the property than it was worth. So while you most likely were discharged of the mortgage debt, the property remained in your name as the owner. Additionally, the lien filed by the lender remains until the property is actually foreclosed on by the lender or the lender accepts a deed in lieu of foreclosure. It remains in your name and it gives you the ability to sell the property.
All right, here's a tough one. You had to go modify your loan, but now you've defaulted again on the modification. Is there anything that could be done in that situation?
Yes, absolutely, and it's very common. You know, if you've defaulted on a loan modification, you're not alone. Many homeowners who received loan modifications have defaulted. There are options available depending upon their current finances and who their servicer is. Every situation's unique and it's different. So to get the best possible outcome, it's important to have your homeowner advocate help guide you.
We're throwing around a lot of terms, and one that I keep hearing is short sale. What is a short sale? Why should people consider it? And when does it come into play?
Larry, that's a great question. When a homeowner is behind on their payments and they owe more than the property is worth, a short sale has become the most popular way to sell a property. A short sale is considered the most valuable alternative to foreclosure for homeowners in danger of losing their homes. Some of the benefits of a short sale are that the homeowners do not have a foreclosure appear on their credit report, are not subject to a public auction, avoid eviction, move substantially on their own terms, and walk away owing nothing on the property. There are also other benefits that a homeowner advocate can tell you more about.
One of the key questions people are going to ask is, okay, so I agree to sell my house. Now what? How am I going to qualify for new housing? Someplace decent with a decent school for my kids. My credit is shot. What do I do?
This is where a homeowner advocate comes in. Maybe Stevens should take this one.
So every person who sells their home as part of the homeowner advocacy plan is paired with a dedicated relocation specialist. Sure, selling your underwater property or distressed property, it may be the smartest financial move you can make, but naturally people are concerned. Where are they going to relocate to? They're worried about timing, location, bad credit, monthly payments, school district, and more. These are genuine concerns for homeowners and are part of the services made available through the program. A dedicated relocation specialist will meet with you to create an entire relocation plan, which includes monthly payment, reviewing location, timing, and any other possible additional programs or assistance you may qualify for. But it all starts with contacting your homeowner advocate.
If a person agrees to sell their house, how long until they have to move?
You know what, Larry, it varies, and it all starts with knowing where they are in the foreclosure cycle and knowing who the servicer is and other relevant information as well. All these factors come into play in developing a relocation plan that meets the timing needs of the seller, which is why we urge people to be proactive, to reach out to one of our homeowner advocates and schedule an advocacy meeting to review the specific options and determine an action plan immediately.
What about the person who calls you and says, my house was sold at auction, now what do I do? How long until I'm evicted?
After the bank forecloses on your house and sells it at auction, you must find alternative housing. After the sale, the deed to your house is transferred to the highest bidder or back to the bank. The new owners must follow legal steps to evict you, and the eviction process typically starts immediately. Every county in New York State is different, but you can expect the eviction to be completed in 1 to several months. Unfortunately, there's not much we can do once this happens.
So, not every distressed homeowner is involved in a foreclosure. In many cases, it's family members who inherit property. They may not have any equity in it. They don't know what to do. Do they have any monetary options?
So, if you've inherited a house with no equity, there still may be monetary options available to you. Most heirs incorrectly assume that there are no monetary options or that they'll be responsible for any negative equity or debt. If you've inherited a property, contact us to explore your options for your specific property and circumstances.
All right, I want to do a short sale, but don't have access to my property.
Yeah, we see this all the time, and it's a common problem. In order to complete the short sale process, your lender must get access to your property for the appraisal purposes. Many times, we can be of assistance in negotiating with either tenants or squatters to allow for access. This is where your homeowner advocate can be extremely helpful.
How did you get my information?
So you may have contacted us prior, or someone may have recommended that we reach out to you. Generally, we get our information from public records. There are many databases available, and once a foreclosure action is filed with the courts, it's a matter of public record.
What if I want to buy a property in the future?
So each situation is different. Qualifying to buy a property in the future requires making good decisions currently. Your current decisions can have either an adverse or a positive effect on the timing to purchase a home.
What is a deficiency judgment?
A deficiency judgment is a money judgment against a borrower whose mortgage foreclosure sale did not produce enough funds to pay the underlying promissory note or loan in full. The most common way to avoid a deficiency judgment is to voluntarily complete a short sale prior to a foreclosure sale.
I tried to do a deed in lieu of foreclosure, but the bank didn't accept it.
If your lender offers a deed in lieu, it doesn't necessarily mean they can do it for you. There are other factors such as second lien holders and other creditors which would force the lender to foreclose. The best thing to do if you're in this situation is to contact a homeowner advocate.
My house is in terrible condition. Does that affect anything?
So condition is not a consideration for selling a property. It's only going to affect the price that it sells for.
What if I owe more than my house is worth?
You know what, Larry? That's a good question. When a homeowner is behind on their payments and they owe more than their property is worth, a short sale has become the most popular way to sell a property. A short sale is considered the most valuable alternative to foreclosure for homeowners that are in danger of losing their homes. Homeowners don't have a foreclosure appear on their credit. They're not subject to a public auction. They could avoid eviction, and most importantly, they could move substantially on their own terms, walking away owing nothing. There are other benefits as well, and if a homeowner is not behind on their payments, they're less likely to be eligible for a short sale.
I already did a short sale, but it didn't go through.
This is common in the real estate industry. A short sale is a very complicated transaction, and the best results come when you work with an experienced team of real estate professionals and lawyers. There's no guarantee that applying again would produce a better outcome. So often the original short sale didn't go through due to either a lack of experience or a lack of experience on the parties that were responsible for managing the process. Also, it's possible that your servicer may have switched and that the new servicer may give you a better short sale alternative. The best thing to do here is to consult with your homeowner advocate to find out your options.
I'm already working with a realtor.
If you're already working with a realtor or a real estate professional, then congratulations on taking the most important first step to moving forward. We coordinate with real estate professionals all the time. A real estate professional plays a vital role in your ability to sell your home and avoid foreclosure. Adding a homeowner advocate, on the other hand, enables you to get access to critical resources, assistance, and monetary options that have nothing to do with the process being handled by a real estate professional.
I entered into a contract of sale, but can't get in touch with anybody.
Yes, unfortunately, this happens in New York. There are remedies that are available to help you with your obligation under a contract where the buyers have not fulfilled their contractual obligation. It's best to consult an attorney or a homeowner advocate who can provide you with options in this situation.
Can a relative buy my house?
Unfortunately, the answer is no. If you are in foreclosure and you are selling your house in a short sale, it's not permitted for a relative to buy your house. Furthermore, if you are selling your house in a short sale transaction, you'll be required to move and may not live in the premises beyond the normal allowable post-closing move time. You will be asked to sign an affidavit at closing acknowledging all of this.
Someone I know is going to purchase my house.
But let me clarify this. If you are in foreclosure and you are selling your house in a short sale transaction, that transaction must be arm's length. Here's what that means. There can be no relationship between you and the party that is buying the house. Furthermore, if you are selling your house in a short sale transaction, you will be required to move and may not live in the premises beyond the normal allowable post-closing move time. You will be asked to sign an affidavit at closing acknowledging all of this.
Can you help postpone my auction?
So this is a question that we're often asked. There are various ways that you may attempt to postpone your auction, and it's not always possible. Circumstances here vary widely. The best thing you can do is to consult your lawyer. If you don't have a lawyer, we can refer you to a list of attorneys that we have experience with or the bar association in your area.
The short answer is yes. There are several legal remedies that can postpone an auction. Some of those remedies include filing an order to show cause or a bankruptcy, which automatically stays the auction. You should contact us about your specific circumstances.
I applied for a loan modification and haven't heard from anyone. When should I start to worry?
Now, in most instances where you apply for a loan modification, the mortgage holder continues the foreclosure action. That's why it's even more important to have a homeowner advocacy meeting. You must be in the know and up to date on where you are in both the modification and foreclosure process. The processes are independent of each other and therefore must be monitored. Too many homeowners lose their properties while waiting for a loan modification to come through.
How much more time do I have in my house?
Well, it depends on many factors. There's no exact science or guarantee to answer these questions when you are in foreclosure. You're subject to many variables, including your servicer, lender, location, court status, and more. The best thing to do is consult with your homeowner advocate to find out where you are in the foreclosure cycle and what are your best options.
I want to do a loan modification and keep my house. Can you help me?
Larry, like many homeowners facing foreclosure, you may want to modify your current loan and continue to keep or live in your property. What I like about Rebuild New York is that they offer loan modification grants to homeowners who qualify for the program and decide to apply for a loan modification after speaking, of course, with a homeowner advocate. It's important to note that Rebuild New York does not do loan modifications. You will be referred to a participating law firm like my firm, and Rebuild New York will cover 100% of the legal fees. Contact your homeowner advocate and schedule a meeting today. It is important to keep in mind there are no guarantees you will qualify or even be approved for a loan modification.
I defaulted on my loan modification, but I want to reapply. Can you help me?
This is not rare. Many homeowners who have previously modified their loans have found themselves facing a hardship and were unable to keep up with their payments. What I like about Rebuild New York is they offer a loan modification grants to homeowners who qualify for the program and decide to apply for a loan modification after meeting with a homeowner advocate. Rebuild New York does not do loan modifications. You will be referred to a participating law firm and the company will cover 100% of your legal fees. Your homeowner advocate will coordinate all details for you. It is important to keep in mind there is no guarantee you will qualify or be approved for a loan modification.
I want to do a loan modification and keep my house. How does the loan modification grant work?
So the way it works is a loan modification grant is given to homeowners who qualify for the program and decide to apply for a loan modification after a homeowner advocacy meeting. Like many homeowners facing foreclosure, you may want to modify your current loan and continue to keep or live in your property. We do not offer loan modifications. What will happen is you'll be referred to a participating law firm, and we are going to cover 100% of the legal fees for the modification. Your homeowner advocate will coordinate all the details for you. So contact your homeowner advocate today to schedule a homeowner advocacy meeting. And another point is that it's important to keep in mind there's no guarantee that you will qualify for or be approved for the loan modification.
Reverse mortgages have been a big deal on TV in the last decade. A lot of folks think they know what they are, but there's a lot of misinformation going on out there. Clear it up for us. If you inherit a house with a reverse mortgage, what do people need to know?
Wow, that's a great question. A reverse mortgage agreement is a financial agreement where the homeowner gives up equity in their home in exchange for regular payments. The reverse mortgage is available to homeowners who are 62 and over, typically retirees. It allows them to convert part of the equity in their home into cash to supplement their income. You know, it is a commonly held myth that a house with a reverse mortgage reverts back to the bank when the owner passes. If you inherit a house with a reverse mortgage, you own the house. The bank has to go through a foreclosure process to repossess the property. If the bank begins foreclosure, the rightful heirs have the right to sell before the foreclosure process is complete.
I keep hearing the term monetary option. What does that mean?
Let me explain. If you decide to sell your property, you may be concerned about money. The number one concern for most homeowners who were in distress was money. The good news is, as a homeowner, you have rights. If you're located in the New York metropolitan area or Long Island, there are monetary options available for qualified homeowners who decide to sell.
Does your advocacy program show people what their monetary options are? Is there a research tool?
Yes, program members are provided links where they can find out specifically the amount of monetary options available to them on their specific property.
Let's cut to the chase. Folks experiencing homeowner distress of any kind, foreclosure or otherwise, are targets. There are a ton of unscrupulous, shady companies out there telling them they'll get them out of trouble and trying to sell them the Brooklyn Bridge. These people are shell-shocked and don't trust anyone, and I don't blame them. So why should they trust you?
That's a great question, Larry. We have 350 reasons why you can trust us. And we have a verifiable track record and more than 350 local references. Before making a decision, we encourage you to click here and visit the Better Business Bureau and verify our record and any others that you may be considering. We're proud of our A+ rating and the many reviews from homeowners just like you who have improved their lives by working with us. We'll be happy to make references available to you upon request. You only have one property. We only have one reputation, so understand we're in this together.
And you put things in writing.
We put everything in writing, and we stake our reputation on 3 basic tenets. We're reliable, trustworthy, and verifiable. Starting with reliability, homeowners will always get an immediate call back. We'll meet with them at any stage of the process, early or late, and we'll always work on their behalf. With that reliability comes trust. Everything we do is in writing. All policies and transactions are completely transparent. Our program members get help, but no strings attached. If you start the program and decide, hey, look, it's just not for me, you can leave. There's no obligation. And of course, it's all free. Last and most important, we think is that we're verifiable. We want homeowners to go online and read our references. There are 350 without a single complaint or negative review. We are the real deal, and our success depends on it.
And you have a great rating to prove it.
We are so proud to have an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. We live in skeptical times, and you should be skeptical. But when an independent organization rates you that highly, it truly speaks volumes. We're proud of our A+ rating and the many reviews from homeowners just like you who've improved their lives by working with us. We'll be happy to make references available to you upon request. You only have one property. We only have one reputation. We're in this together.
One of the big concerns with a foreclosure proceeding is the loss of equity. Is there a way you can help people rebuild their equity?
So qualified homeowners who participate in the program can get a written certificate giving them up to 3 years to purchase a below-market property from our available inventory. You can buy the property yourself at any time for up to 3 years, or you can transfer the certificate to anyone you choose. Properties are foreclosures, pre-foreclosures, estate sales, and more.
So there are a few key takeaways from our conversation today. RebuildNY.com is here to provide free advice and advocacy for distressed homeowners at any stage. And we learned that the term distress casts a very wide net. It's not just foreclosures. It could be inheriting property that you can't afford or declaring bankruptcy and having to divest yourself of property. Whatever your distress, the common solution is not ignoring the problem. If you bury your head and hope it's going to go away, you're going to waste precious months and lose your negotiating options. That's the mistake people make. The solution, pick up the phone or go to the website today. Connect with your own homeowner advocate. Set up a free consultation to examine your unique situation and learn your options. No charge, no pressure, no promises, just reliable information you can use to make an informed decision. If you got a lawyer, that's great. That's a key part of your advocacy team. But he or she can't be your only one to go to. You need someone who's looking at the big picture and able to put every available option on the table and explain what's coming next. If you are in homeowner distress, you are vulnerable. There are 1,000 bad apples out there, and they're looking to pick your pocket. One call to RebuildNY.com is going to give you the peace of mind and the protection you need most right now. They are trustworthy, rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, 0 complaints. They are verifiable with over 350 positive reviews online. And they are reliable. RebuildNY.com has already saved New York City and Long Island homeowners more than $500 million in debt. They can do it for you too. But right now, every second counts. Make the call, you won't be sorry. This is Larry King. Thanks for watching.
Thank you, Rebuild New York, and thank you, Kiana.
Rebuild New York helped me close that chapter of my life, and now I have a fresh start. Thank you.
What can I say? I finally found my happy ending to the nightmare that was happening to me, and they could do it for you as well.
On top of everything else, Rebuild New York helped me get a deficiency waiver from the bank, so I walked away free and clear of everything.
Thanks to Rebuild New York. Thank you, Sylvia. Thank you, Kiana. My team was strong, not to be messed with. I'm very grateful. I can literally say, absolutely saved my life.
Thank you, Rebuild New York.
Gracias a Dios a esta compañía Rebuild New York.
I would absolutely recommend Rebuild New York to anyone who's having an issue with their home. Thank you, Rebuild.